Right, okay, this is a video I really didn't want to make, but I'm going to make it out of sheer and utter frustration because this is driving me absolutely nuts. Now, even though I know exactly what my rights are, what the situation is, what the law says, what should happen, the company's still not doing it, and they're giving me the runaround, they're giving me all sorts of stupid excuses, and trying to do different things, trying to give me different responses, and all the while just trying to snub me of the refund for a product that doesn't do what the website said it does. So we're here on Black Belt Secrets. You get my fairly unfiltered thoughts on here. I've got lots of documents I'm going to read bits to you from, but I'm not going to put them on screen because I haven't redacted them. It'll take too long. But I will go through this. You might have seen on my main channel, Black Belt Barrister, I talked about an utter frustration with LG because I bought a new fridge. The long story short is this. I bought a new fridge because the old one broke. I don't know what was wrong with it, and I now regret it because actually it turns out it was probably still under warranty. There was an ambiguity there as well because initially it said that it had a 5-year warranty, but then as they were taking it away, there was a thing on the back that said it had a 10-year warranty. So after all, it may well have still been covered under warranty, but nonetheless, they were already taking it out. I'd already bought a new one from LG because I thought, well, I liked it, so let's buy another one from LG. Now, the main point of it is this. It dispensed cold water. It was plumbed in, and it would chill the water, and I loved the chilled water, and obviously produced ice as well. I loved the chilled water. Okay, this is a first world thing, but that's not the point. This is utterly frustrating. So I look on the website for a replacement, one that looks near identical, and it said that there was an option of plumbed in or with a tank, and it said the difference with the tank is you fill up the tank, obviously, and it said on the website that you can enjoy the luxury of chilled water on tap. So the website was absolutely clear that this produced chilled water. Lo and behold, you've probably guessed it, it didn't. It didn't produce chilled water. In fact, it was room temperature. I tested it. And so I got in touch with them, and round in circles later, they said, well, no, actually, it depends on the source of the water. I said, what do you mean that the temperature of the tap water? Is that what it depends on? Why is it not colder than that? They said that the units don't routinely chill the water. So the website's wrong. The website is misleading. The website says it chills the water, and it doesn't. It appears that the only way it chills it is with the tank inside the fridge. But all of the old ones did. So the website was clear, and obviously I thought that it chilled the water. Now, after much back and forth on what the website said, etc., they agreed in writing to refund me. So the wording of the response was as follows, quote, I have initiated the return process for your unit with the LG shop team under this reference number. They will coordinate with you directly to arrange the return and refund. Please keep your line open so they can reach you promptly. So I thought, okay, that's fine. Now, it was a lot of frustration to go through that argument in the first place, but at least they've agreed. At least they're going to sort it out. Or so I thought. So me thinking that I'll put a little bit of trust in them, just leave them to sort their logistics out and come back to me and get it sorted. In the meantime, I've been online with Currys. I've ordered a new one. I've gone with Samsung because I've got a Samsung literally sitting right here, which has been with me for nearly 20 years now, which is working perfectly. So big praise for Samsung because that still works perfectly. It's in my studio here. When we bought the LG, we just wanted a new one for the house and we put this in my studio. But we've ordered a new Samsung from Currys to come to the house. Now, Currys have been great and said, well, we'll pin a date down, but then you can change the date of delivery forward or backwards. They even gave me free delivery because of the aggro that I've had with LG. That's how good Currys have been, and I've been shopping with Currys for many years and they've been great. Now, back to LG. You guessed it, they are not playing ball. Now, despite me putting a little bit of trust in them for a few days and thinking they'll sort it out, they'll sort the logistics, and they'll just give me a ring and say, no problem, we're going to come and collect the unit from you and arrange the refund. Not exactly as straightforward as you might think. So I get on with the phone with them this morning and they say, well, actually, we went through to our tech team and they said, well, these don't normally dispense cold water, so they've not approved your refund. And I said, well, you've already approved the refund in writing, which I accepted. Now, actually, there's a bit that I left out. The odd thing about the refund is because this was a multi-buy order, it said if you buy more than one thing, you get 15% off or whatever it was. So I also ordered another monitor. So now I've got 2 monitors. So I do my editing and my work and stuff. So I've got it here. They said in the initial email, you must also return the monitor. And I thought, that's a bit strange. Why must I return the monitor? And I suppose it's a multi-buy thing. So they don't want me having the discount on the monitor because I'm returning the fridge. I suppose I can understand that. But still a bit strange. They might have just said, well, you could pay the balance, the 15% for the monitor because, you had the discount and you shouldn't have had the discount, etc., whatever. So I was like, okay, whatever. If you need to bring the monitor back, that's fine. You bring the monitor back. So I agreed to that, and there I was waiting. But sure enough, this morning when I was speaking to them, they said, no, the tech team said it doesn't normally dispense cold water, so they've said no. But no one thought to tell me that. They were just going to ignore me, it would seem. And so I said, no, that's not acceptable. You've already agreed in writing. This is my consumer right to reject the product because it's not fit for purpose. It's not as described. It doesn't do what it said. More about that on my other video from Black Belt Barrister. So I said, no, that's not acceptable. She said she'll escalate it with another team or something and then come back to me. That seems to me that's code for go away. We're not going to deal with you anymore. So then eventually, I think I fire another message off online in response to the previous one to say, you've now told me this, that's ridiculous, let's sort this out. Then I get a multitude of different responses coming back, including the following. Now, the first one, they're trying to obfuscate and twist the truth here and twist the rules and try to bend it in their favor. They say as follows. Upon reviewing your order, I see that it contains 2 units, the fridge and the monitor. We understand from your report that you'd like to arrange for the collection and refund of this order due to the issue with the unit's water dispenser not being cold. You've already been advised that this is typically normal for a plumbed unit and will not be considered a fault. Regrettably, we must inform you that we're unable to process this request as you reported it, wait for it, beyond the 14-day change of mind period. So now they're trying to tell me that I've changed my mind, despite all along I've been telling them that this is not as described on the website, so I'm rejecting it. It doesn't do what your website said it does. You can tell how frustrated I am. I don't normally get animated like this. Not always, anyway. They say, please refer to this link regarding your right to cancellation. So they're trying to tell me my rights of cancellation. Your right to cancel, they say. What is your right to cancel? Purchases made on this site are considered distance sales, and you legally have 14 days from the date of receipt, which is not strictly true. It's from the day after receipt, but by the by, this is irrelevant anyway for reasons I'll explain. They say if you change your mind and receive a full refund, that's the right of cancellation. If you've used the product and it's returned in a condition that we're not able to resell it, we may issue a partial refund. They can make a deduction, so that's sort of true. You should receive your refund within 14 days from the date of the return notification. Please note that these rights only apply to consumers, etc., etc. Now, that's irrelevant because I was not returning it under a I've changed my mind scenario. I was returning it because it doesn't do what the website says. Now, that's not the only... I went back and I'll tell you word for word my response to this and their further response, which is even more ridiculous. But first, a word from a sponsor. Don't go away. Now, just a moment, I want to show you something from my personal email inbox. Now, I don't normally show people my inbox, but this is so important. It's such a serious scam that I really want to show it to you. So this is targeting YouTube creators, but there's another version that is targeting general members of the public and Google users and so on. So this is my inbox. This is an email that genuinely came from YouTube. And it says, YouTube creators has shared a private video with you on YouTube. Now, as a YouTube creator, I know that there is a channel called YouTube Creators and that there are other channels that are genuinely affiliated with YouTube. And when this says that someone shared a private video with me, I think, maybe that's of interest. I mean, I don't because I can see a scam a mile away, which is why I'm showing it to you on this video. Now, you can see in the top here, it's genuinely come from YouTube. And if I hit reply, it's genuinely replying to YouTube. And this is a real video that's sent from a real account, a real channel, and it's shared with me. And what it does is go through to a YouTube channel with a YouTube video with a deep fake of the CEO of YouTube, and it talks to me and tells me to click on a link in the description below, which then takes me off to a nefarious website. Now, the reason I'm telling you this and showing you this is because this is the very reason that I support and I wholeheartedly recommend NordVPN on this channel. Now, this is not just a run-of-the-mill advert that I'm slamming into the video here. This genuinely saved me because initially, whilst I did sort of suspect that this was a scam, when I went through to it, NordVPN does flag up these kind of links to show that they are malicious links, malicious downloads, and you shouldn't go any further. So if you are in any doubt that either you or members of your family may just slip into this, what this can do is they can hijack your session, meaning it gives them access to everything in your current browser. That's your emails, maybe your banks, maybe your YouTube channels and accounts and things like that. It can potentially give them full access to everything you're logged into if they steal the session. It's called session hijacking. But NordVPN will prevent them from doing that with the detection for malicious links, malicious downloads, and all of that sort of stuff. And not only that, it gives you a virtual IP address. It keeps all of your browsing and everything anonymous. They don't keep any logs, and there are all sorts of other ways that they keep you safe. But this is one that really jumped out to me, that NordVPN will genuinely help people. And of course, that is why I partner with them on my channel here. And as a partner, I get you 4 months extra free using the link nordvpn.com/blackbeltsecrets. It's on screen and it's down below. And once you log in and start using it, you'll realize just how many links might be malicious or how many downloads might be malicious. And it'll be peace of mind. It's cheaper than a cup of coffee. And obviously you get the 4 months free with my link. So it's an absolute no-brainer on top of the 30-day money-back guarantee. So sign up now with the link in the description below. You won't regret it. And thank you to Nord for sponsoring this video. Right, so back, I robustly rebut the points that they made in their email. And I write as follows. In fact, I actually say as much. I say, I must robustly rebut points raised in your email, which misrepresent both the facts of the matter and my legal rights as a consumer. I said, to be clear, I am not returning this fridge freezer under the 14-day cooling off period as a change of mind. This return has nothing whatsoever to do with the right to cancel under distance selling regulations, or the old distance selling regulations. I'm exercising my short-term right to reject under Section 20 of the Consumer Rights Act 2015, which subsequently, by the way, once they've agreed, which they did, they have 14 days to refund me under sub 15, but more about that in my Black Belt Barrister video. Which, I go on, allows a consumer 30 days to reject the goods which are misrepresented or not as described, which it isn't. The website says it chills the water, and it doesn't. The product was advertised on your website, I go on, as chilling or cooling water, which it does not do. That is a clear and material misrepresentation. The failure of the unit to function as described constitutes a breach of contract, and I'm therefore legally entitled to reject it for a full refund. As an aside, by the way, there's a separate cause of action under misrepresentation, under the Misrepresentation Act of 1967, where I'm entitled to rescission and damages under the contract, but that is a further or alternative claim. My primary claim, I contend, is under the Consumer Rights Act for breach of contract. I go on, the failure of the unit to function as described constitutes a breach of contract, and I'm therefore legally entitled to reject it for a full refund. Moreover, this matter has already been resolved in writing. You previously confirmed that you would arrange collection and a refund. I attach the communication for your reference. Your latest correspondence is therefore both erroneous and misconceived and appears to contradict your earlier position without any explanation. In light of your failure to act on the refund you've already agreed to do, I've now initiated a chargeback, through my bank. Should that prove unsuccessful for any reason, I'll be filing a claim through the Money Claim Online service to seek recovery of the full amount in the county court, including any additional costs incurred. That'll be the filing fee and the hearing fee and so on. I'm still offering you the opportunity to resolve this matter amicably without further escalation. However, given that you've previously acknowledged your intention to collect the item, I've ordered a replacement elsewhere, and I will not have space to accommodate this one indoors due to the delivery of the replacement. Therefore, I will have no alternative but to leave the fridge freezer outside my property for collection. Any loss or damage from this point will be entirely your responsibility. Now, strictly speaking, I just have to make it available for collection. It is, and I'm giving them a period of time to do so. I said I'll trust you'll now do the right thing and process the refund without further delay, and I expect a written confirmation about the return and collection arrangements within 24 hours. Failing that, I will proceed with legal action without further notice to you. Now, there was a crossover to that because I received another email from someone else almost simultaneously while I'm drafting this email, angrily bashing at the keyboard, sending this off. I receive another email as follows, almost simultaneously, and says as follows. I hope you're doing well today. That's how this email opens. I hope you're doing well today. I've been passed along your case with regard to your recent experience with ourselves. Please accept my apologies for the inconvenience and stress caused to you throughout this process. I can see that the issue with your new fridge freezer is that your dispensed water is not coming out chilled. There can be a number of different issues for this that would usually have to be investigated. In this situation, I would like to work with you to come to a conclusion of how we can tackle this issue together, with my full cooperation. As the unit is still within the 30-day return period, this is a little bit strange here because they're now hinting at the 30-day right to reject period. But hear what they say. They say, the options we can offer are the following. We can offer an exchange of the unit, depending on stock levels, or we can arrange for an engineer to attend to diagnose the fault. Bearing in mind, they've already said 2 or 3 times that these do not dispense cold water and that the website is wrong. They've already told me 2 or 3 times that this is normal and not a fault. In fact, it even word for word said in one of the responses, it's not indicative of a fault. And yet, in this latest email, they say we could arrange for an engineer to attend to come and diagnose the fault. It is understandable that you may not want to go with the second option, as it's a brand new unit. However, I am obligated to offer this to you. To be clear as to why the team is advised that your monitor would need to be returned, that's because the units were purchased together with a multi-buy code, which states in the terms and conditions that both items have to be returned together if a refund is desired. That's fair enough. I mean, they could have said just, give us the difference for the 15% or whatever it was. I'd have paid it because it's a good monitor. I'm not going to knock the monitors. It is actually a good monitor. They go on. Please let me know how you'd like to proceed with your case and I'll be happy to help. I'll wait in the reply and etc. Have a great weekend. Now, what they've done here, they've sort of realized that there's a 30-day return period in consumer law. They've not applied it properly because what they've said is, therefore, the options are as follows. They can offer an exchange of the unit. Now, they can offer an exchange. It's open to them to offer an exchange. In fact, at any time, it's open to them to offer an exchange. But that's not how it works. How it works is as follows. Within the first 30 days, I have the right to reject it because it doesn't conform to the contract. It's not an option. It's not debatable. It's not open to their approval. It's not one of their options. It is my right as a consumer. Now, obviously, from a business perspective, this sucks because the business doesn't really have a leg to stand on. If this goes to court, they will lose because it doesn't do what the website says, so it doesn't conform to the contract. So I have a legal right to reject it, a statutory right to reject it, and they have to refund me. So if this goes to court, they will lose because it is absolutely crystal clear. Not that I'm going to tell a judge what to do. It's the judge's decision if it goes to court, and I have to abide by the judge's decision, but that's that. But in my view, I would win because it doesn't do what the website says. It was crystal clear. But they say the 30-day return period, so they're offering an exchange depending on the stock. I don't know what they're planning to exchange it for, but given this experience, and because I've already ordered a Samsung from Currys, I'm not going to be taking them up on their exchange deal. I now just want the refund. But one of the reasons I'm telling you all this and ranting at you with all this is because of as follows. I obviously know what the law says. I know it inside out. I've got bits highlighted. I know them from memory. I know which sections to look at. I know exactly how to run these cases to court. I've run these cases to court many times, right from something as little as a few hundred or a few £1,000s up to brand new vehicles that are many, many tens of thousands of pounds. Usually they're about 60 to 80,000 pounds for the brand new cars that go wrong. And regardless of what the issue is, these companies, not always, but many of them will just dig their heels in, throw all sorts of stupid arguments at you, try to obfuscate and confuse the situation by telling you, you're outside the 14-day cooling off period. You're outside the 30-day period of rejection or whatever. Now, there are other timeframes are involved. I've covered them in great detail in my other videos on Black Belt Barrister. There's one about cars. It's about 45 minutes long. It goes into detail with the finance situation and all that sort of stuff as well. Exactly what you'll need to do. Now, the reason I'm ranting and raving about this on here to you is A, to let you know that I have to deal with this rubbish as well. But B, I am relaunching, revamping my membership program over on Black Belt Barrister. I'll probably duplicate it here on Black Belt Secrets and give the same perks and access that I do on my Black Belt Barrister channel, and I'll do them here on Black Belt Secrets. So look out for it to change here on Black Belt Secrets. They're already updated on Black Belt Barrister. There are membership options which I've quite aptly named Trainee Black Belt, Black Belt, Master Black Belt, and Grandmaster. So each of those tiered memberships give you access to different things, starting off with loyalty badges and emojis and shout outs, and I will see your comments first. But then into Black Belt, there'll be member-only shorts where I'll be... Every day that I'm going around, I see something and I think my viewers could do with that, but it's not enough to make it into a long-form video because they take more effort, more time, etc. But the shorts I can probably do. But even then, not everybody will be interested in those shorts, but certainly if those are something that you're interested in, those can make it onto that membership tier. Member-only posts, discounts on merch, and when you get into the Master Black Belt tier and then the Grandmaster tiers, you'll get access to other perks, such as there's a whole library of live streams where there's loads of Q&A in those, members-only Q&A videos, so you'll post your questions and I will do video answers that are only available to members. And also on the Grandmaster level, you will get access to a whole template library of case law and documents such as letters of claim, particulars of claim, all sorts of things that you can use not as a replacement as legal advice, but you can substitute them into your situation, fill in the details, and I might even set up the website and program the website. I'm refamiliarizing myself with Ruby on Rails to rebuild my website. So I might put all sorts of tools on there where you'll put in your details. It will ask you questions. You'll put in some details and it will spit you out a rough form of a letter of claim or particulars of claim or defense or witness statement and things like that. You can then top and tail and refine and finish them before you use them. And obviously it's not a replacement for legal advice, but I am going to commit a lot more time to YouTube, both channels, in fact, all three channels. I've got my money channel as well, my wealth channel. And so I'm going to commit a lot more time to each of these because I'm just human too. I have these problems and these issues with these companies as well. I get the runaround. I get all the stupid excuses. Now, the one thing I'll deal with here is some people did say in the comments on X, why don't I just tell them I'm a barrister? I know what I'm doing. I will bash you and whatever. I can't do that and I won't do that. Certainly not in the correspondence. Now, it's unavoidable if I talk about it on here and then they look it up and they know that I'm a barrister. That's unavoidable, but that's not me abusing my position because I'm not allowed to do that. It's against my code of conduct. I cannot say, I'm a barrister. I know what I'm doing. I will do this and this and this. And so I can't do that in my correspondence. So I deliberately avoid any of that in the correspondence. I'm just an individual. They think that I'm just a member of the public. So they treat me like a member of the public. And because of that, I also get all the usual guff and rubbish that these companies spit out to members of the public. They try to mislead me, in my view. They say, you know, you're outside of this time frame, or that's not what the law says, or whatever. These companies have said all sorts of things before. And they really do try to fob you off and not refund you. But I am going to fight against this by telling it you straight, giving you exactly what I do, and I will give you the templates and the tools with which to do it. And I will help you break down these barriers of access to the legal system, to fight these companies, to stand up for your rights. And I'm humbled to say I've got dozens and dozens of people over the years email me with thanks that they've won a case, or at least they've had their fair shot at a case and would not have had the confidence to do so, be it a parking ticket or a vehicle that they've taken them to court for and got a refund for. So I hope that's all useful. Check out the membership options. This is sort of a semi-soft launch because we're on secrets here, but I've launched it on Black Belt Barrister, the new membership tiers, but I'll duplicate them here on secrets as well. So I hope you found that useful. Thank you for bearing with me with this rant and rave because it really has frustrated me because this is just one of the latest in a long string of things. The one that really did upset me was the Land Rover with the steering. Literally 35,000 miles on the clock and the steering has gone kaput. I'll link the video for that below if you haven't seen that one. That was horrendous. Really bad, really dangerous. So thoughts and comments in the box. Let's have a conversation. Thanks for watching. Thanks for bearing with me, and I'll see you next time.